Live from New Delhi, you're watching DigitalIndia News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan, coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi commissions Vizhinjam International Seaport in southern state of Kerala. Says country's coastal states and port cities will become key centers of growth for a developed India. More leaders call Pakistan to act against homegrown terror. US Vice President J.D. Vance says Pakistan should cooperate to ensure that terrorists operating in its territory are hunted down. In the first major staffing shakeup of his second term, Trump replaces Mike Waltz with Marco Rubio as National Security Advisor, also removes Deputy NSA. Apple shifts production to India to mitigate potential tariffs. CEO Tim Cook says majority of iPhones sold in the US in the current quarter will come from India. Waves 2025 hosts global media dialogue with delegates from over 60 countries. India's Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav emphasizes on collaboration between government and creators. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the southern state of Kerala and dedicated to the nation Vizhinjam International Deepwater Multipurpose Seaport worth Rs 8,900 crore. It is country's first dedicated container transshipment port that represents the transformative advancements being made in India's maritime sector as part of the unified vision of Viksit Bharat.
इस सी पोर्ट को 8,800 करोड़ रुपीस की लागत से तैयार किया गया है। अभी इस ट्रांसशिपमेंट हब की जो क्षमता है वो भी आने वाले समय में बढ़कर के 3 गुनी हो जाएगी। यहां दुनिया के बड़े मालवाहक जहाज आसानी से आ सकेंगे। अभी तक भारत का 75% ट्रांसशिपमेंट भारत के बाहर के पोर्ट पर होता था। इससे देश को बहुत बड़ा रेवेन्यू लॉस होता आया है। ये परिस्थिति अब बदलने जा रही है। अब देश का पैसा देश के काम आएगा। जो पैसा बाहर जाता था वो केरला और विजिंजम के लोगों के लिए नई इकोनॉमिक अपॉर्चुनिटीज लेकर आएगा।
And the Prime Minister dedicated the Vizhinjam International Deepwater Multipurpose Seaport worth Rs 8,900 crore to the nation. Now let's tell you the features. India's first dedicated container transshipment port marks a significant milestone in the country's maritime infrastructure, aligning with the Viksit Bharat vision for a developed and self-reliant nation. Boasting a natural deep draft of nearly 20 meters, the port is strategically located just 10 nautical miles from key international shipping routes that connect Europe, the Persian Gulf and Far East. Positioned near one of the world's busiest sea trade corridors, it is set to play a crucial role in enhancing India's logistics efficiency and reducing dependence on foreign ports for cargo transshipment. The advancement not only boosts India's maritime capabilities but also strengthens its position in global trade by establishing a more competitive and self-sustained transshipment ecosystem. So after Kerala later in the day, Prime Minister to visit Andhra Pradesh, where he will inaugurate, lay the foundation stone and dedicate to the nation multiple development projects worth over 58,000 rupees crore in Amravati. In line with his commitment to ensure world-class infrastructure and connectivity across the country, Prime Minister will inaugurate 7 national highway projects in Andhra Pradesh, will also dedicate to the nation railway projects aimed at enhancing connectivity and boosting capacity. Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of missile test range at Nagai Lanka in Andhra Pradesh worth around Rs 1,460 crore. It will comprise a launch centre, technical instrumentation facilities, indigenous radars, telemetry and electro-optical systems, enhancing the country's defence preparedness. Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone of PM Ekta Mall at Madhurwada in Visakhapatnam. It has been envisioned with the objective of fostering national integration, supporting to the Make in India initiative, promoting one district, one product, generating employment opportunities, empowering rural artisans and enhancing the market presence of indigenous products. Shifting focus now, taking it hard on Pakistan after the Pahalgam terror attack, US Vice President J.D. Vance expressed hope that Pakistan would work with India to track down terrorists who carried out the attack. In an interview with Fox News, Vance made his public remark on the attack, which left 26 people dead. Using the term terrorist, he said that Pakistan, to the extent cooperates with India to make sure the terrorists operating in their territory are hunted down and dealt with.
We hope, frankly, that Pakistan, to the extent that they're responsible, cooperates with India to make sure that the terrorists, sometimes operating in their territory, are hunted down and dealt with. That's how we hope this unfolds. We're obviously in close contact. We'll see what happens.
Notably, Vance and his family was in India on a 4-day visit when the carnage took place. Pakistan continues to violate the ceasefire by initiating unprovoked small arms firing across the line of control in different sectors of Jammu and Kashmir as well as along the international border in Jammu's Parkwal sector. Meanwhile, Indian Army troops responded in a calibrated and proportionate manner. The ceasefire violations along the LOC in Kashmir follows a series of measures taken by India in response to the Pahalgam terror attack, in which terrorists shot dead 26 civilians in Baisaran Meadow. A large number of Pakistani nationals were stranded at Attari border on Thursday as Pakistan didn't open up its gates for its own citizens. As per the latest order from the Ministry for Home Affairs, India has extended the deadline for Pakistani nationals to leave the country till further orders. In the order dated April 30th, Ministry of Home Affairs ordered that Pakistani nationals may be allowed to exit India to go into Pakistan from integrated checkpost at Attari till further orders with due clearance. All right, DD India's Gurmeet Singh joins us from Attari border. He has more information on this. Gurmeet, tell us what is the situation at Attari border at present. Any advisory for Pakistani nationals who have not been able to cross the border?
Abhishek, as our viewers already know, that yesterday Pakistan did not open up its gates for its own nationals, and yesterday all the Pakistani nationals who wanted to cross over the border, they kept stranded outside integrated checkpost at Attari border. And today also the same people came here in the morning and they were waiting by 10:30 in the morning. At 10:30 it was told that the few people would be taken inside integrated checkpost and their immigration would be done. The authorities are saying that the immigration from the Indian side has started, but as per the inputs that we are getting in, that Pakistan still did not open up its gates, and a window of 1 or 2 hours has been given to India that it should prepare all the Pakistani nationals, and all the verification process should be done on the Indian side first, and after that the gates would be opened and Pakistani nationals would be taken inside their own country. But now here outside integrated checkpost, two kind of people are waiting for their immigration done. Number one is Pakistani nationals who want to cross over the border towards their country. Second is Indian nationals who are waiting to cross over the border because they are married in Pakistan. So right now, the Indian nationals who want to cross over the border, there is a state of dichotomy about them, whether they would be allowed, their immigration would be allowed or not. Right now, I would like to show you the latest visuals of integrated checkposts and the people who are waiting outside ICP Attari border. The cars are queued up over here, packed up with the luggage, and people are still waiting. A few people, you can see two ladies were sitting just outside integrated checkpost. They are still waiting for their immigration done. Yesterday also these two ladies came and were requesting the Indian authorities to get their immigration done, but they were told that Pakistan did not open up its gates, and these ladies were taken inside integrated checkpost also, but the gates did not open. As per the inputs that we are getting in yesterday, by the evening, Indian authorities were constantly waiting for the Pakistani authorities to give a confirmation whether the gates would be opened or not. This integrated checkpost works from 10 a.m. in the morning till 4 p.m. in the evening, but Indian authorities were waiting by 4, 5, 6 p.m. And after that, when confirmation did not come, communication was established as per the inputs, and Pakistan gave a signal that the gates may be opened at 7 p.m. in the evening. So the custom officers, the immigration officers and the BSF staff was ready by the 7 p.m. for getting the immigration of Pakistani nationals done. But gate did not open yesterday. So today by 10:30 in the morning, there was a confirmation, and after that the immigration process started from the Indian side. Now the latest visuals I would like to show you of the integrated checkpost where the Pakistani nationals have entered inside, and right now they are getting their immigration done. Right there, you can see BSF personnel are standing, and after this barrier on the left side, checkpost is there where few Pakistani nationals are getting their immigration done. One by one, the officials, authorities are calling the Pakistani nationals for getting the immigration done, and after that they would be sent towards the zero line where the Indian authorities would request the Pakistani authorities to accept its own citizens.
All right, Gurmeet, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for getting us the latest from Attari border. Moving on, the portals of Kedarnath Dham, one of the 12 Jyotirlings of Lord Shiva, were opened for the devotees amid the chants of Har Har Mahadev today. Additional security personnel along the Yatra routes and at the temple premises has been deployed to maintain decorum. Within the temple premises, authorities have imposed a ban on video recording and reels, aiming to preserve the sanctity of the rituals and prevent overcrowding due to filming activities. Meanwhile, the helicopter service for the 2025 Sri Kedarnath Dham Yatra commenced from Sonprayag in Uttarakhand, offering a convenient travel option for pilgrims. Uttarakhand Chief Minister has urged local residents and businesses to extend warm hospitality to the pilgrims. All right, weather update now. India's Delhi and the National Capital Region experienced relief from the heat wave on Friday morning as severe thunderstorms and rain brought temperatures down. The India Met Department has forecast rain and thunderstorms for the next 3 days with a yellow alert issued for the national capital. Waterlogging has also been reported in several parts of Delhi, including Lajpat Nagar, R.K. Puram and Dwarka. This also led to significant disruptions in flight schedules at Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport on Friday, causing delays and diversions for several passengers. The airport confirmed that some flights were affected due to the inclement weather. Now, northwest India, including Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh and Himachal Pradesh, is expected to experience light to moderate rainfall and strong winds due to a western disturbance. A dust storm accompanied with gusting winds is also very likely at isolated places over Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, Punjab and Rajasthan. All right, let's now take a look at other stories making news today. While heavy rains brought some respite to the national capital from the heat waves, the sudden downpour also caused waterlogging and traffic issues at many places. 4 people have been reported dead in Dwarka area of Delhi after a tree fell on a tube well room built in a farm. Mentioning the West Indian state of Rajasthan's case, a three-judge bench of the Supreme Court of India on Friday said that doctors should only prescribe generic medicines and not any particular brand. The apex court said if this directive is implemented across the country, it will bring about a huge change. The bench was hearing a petition seeking regulation of unethical marketing practices by pharmaceutical companies. The Director General of India's National Investigation Agency, Saranand Date, conducted a review meeting with the officials in charge of the Pahalgam attack investigation. Earlier on Thursday, he visited the Baisaran Valley, the location of attack, and conducted an inspection of the area. All right, still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Angola President João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço is in India on a 3-day state visit. India sends sacred Buddha relics to Vietnam. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Now updates from Wave Summit, Mumbai. On the second day of the Waves 2025, India hosted inaugural Global Media Dialogue session on Friday that brought together delegates from over 60 countries, marking a significant step in positioning India at the forefront of global media and entertainment discourse. Addressing the event, Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav discussed 3 anchor points for the session, including creativity, culture and collaboration.
Creativity transforms imagination into shared experience. As a government, we must provide a fair chance for everyone to showcase their story to the world. We must incentivize local content promotion and enforce IP rights in a proper framework, among other things that we need to do in creativity.
Ashwini Vaishnav stated that culture inspires creativity and helps connect people.
Culture inspires creativity and it connects people across borders. We must support policies that preserve and promote all cultural forms. Focus is shifting towards local stories, the local culture, and we aim to build people-to-people and country-to-country exchanges.
Ashwini Vaishnav also stressed on importance of collaboration between government and creators to make a mark, underlining the fact that no one stakeholder can act alone.
Nothing happens in an island. We all have to collaborate for common success. We believe that tie-ups, collaborations between government, industry and creators and government to government, these collaborations have a huge value. Practical steps in this include co-production treaties, easing licenses, easing talent movement, having joint funds, having jointly created standards and clear rules for the upcoming technology.
External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar, gave the keynote address at the Global Media Dialogue. Speaking at the World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit, or WAVES 2025 in Mumbai, Dr. Jaishankar emphasized on 5 major objectives of the summit. Dr. Jaishankar said it is essential to give voice to heritage and creativity and called for a plural world that upholds the strong cultural dimensions.
We all speak of a world under transformation. It is vital to recognize that the process of change actually has a strong cultural dimension. The truth is that the world is intrinsically and essentially diverse, and that pluralism has been suppressed in the past by both colonialism and big power dominance. As we seek now to democratize the international system, it is not enough to just assert political and economic independence. It is equally essential that we give voice to our traditions, to our heritage, to ideas, to practices, and to our creativity.
EAM Jaishankar also talked about embracing modernity and stated that technology and tradition must go hand in hand.
In its application and evolution, we must be guided by the belief that modernity is not a rejection of the past, but a constant quest built on human achievements. For that reason, technology and tradition must go hand in hand. In many ways, technology can strengthen awareness of our vast heritage and deepen consciousness about it, especially for younger generations.
And the minister calls for building a global workplace and workforce.
As the world comes closer, we can contemplate both a global workplace and a global workforce. Both digital connectivity and physical logistics make this a growing reality. But we need accompanying shifts in mindsets, frameworks, policies, and practices.
Dr. Jaishankar was highly vocal for the Centre's initiative of Viksit Bharat 2047 as he urged the youth of modern era to embrace innovation and creativity.
Every era has its own mode of communication, of storytelling, of entertainment, and of its pastimes. We have seen it evolve from the oral and the written to the visual and the digital. Today, there is a surfeit of information, and the challenge is actually how to get attention. This challenge is what will make ours an age of creative comms, of creative sports, of creative collaboration.
And Dr. Jaishankar also touched upon the dynamics of AI and advised young talents to embrace it with a sense of responsibility.
We all sense, we all know that the era of AI holds possibilities beyond imagination. Never before have we visualized such deep changes across such vast domains. Never before can we combine innovations from such diverse fields so effectively.
All right, let's go across to Mumbai. DigitalIndia's Dibyendu Mandal is joining us live. Dibyendu, day 2 of the WAVE Summit in Mumbai. Tell us what all has happened and what can we look forward, what all is lined up for today.
Well, Abhishek, today is the day 2, and of course, yesterday was action-packed, and so is today. We have seen a plethora of activities happening around here at the World Geo Center in Mumbai's Bandra Kurla complex. It is buzzing with people since yesterday. We have people from all walks of life, from different parts of the country as well as from different parts of the world, gathering here, deliberating, talking on how to make media more creative, more technologically savvy, and how to amalgamate media, audiovisual entertainment segment more tech savvy, as well as amalgamate with the need of the hour and the need of technology that can be integrated into this sector as well. So of course, today what we have been witnessing is, there is this creatosphere which is just behind me, where we are having this YouTube Creators Challenge. challenge. There are these zones, separate zones, which have been created for not just actors. We have seen much focus being on the actors by different organizations, but of course there is beyond actors and stars which this summit has to offer. It is about the ancillary. Talk about the VFX, talk about the audio, talk about the visual enhancement, talk about cinematography. Everything is on offer here, Abhishek. In different rooms there are deliberations, discussions that are happening. I just attended a discussion on how radio can be reimagined and how radio can be made much more digital. There were also a summit that, in fact an event that talked about how creators can learn to amalgamate, integrate artificial intelligence into their content and improve it. There have also been masterclasses by renowned actor, director Farhan Akhtar. Shraddha Kapoor is also talking to a foreign filmmaker at this moment about how we can get some pages of Hollywood into Bollywood, how Hollywood as well as Bollywood can come together to make masterpieces of cinema. So of course a lot is being offered at this summit by all sections of this entire industry, by all segments of this entire industry, and it's just not about the stars coming in, going out. It's much more than that. It's also about the new age digital creators, how content is shifting from long format to short format, how the attention span of the youths are shifting from long formats to just about a minute. So how technology can leverage that, how acting or perhaps this entire industry can reshape storytelling into a minute. So these are all some of the sessions that are currently underway, and we have an action-packed day in fact today as well as tomorrow, where all segments of the media, entertainment, audiovisual industry as well as gaming will be deliberated over the next course of the next 2 days. Abhishek.
Devyendu, deliberations, roundtables, plenary sessions happening like you said, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said yesterday that this is the right time to create in India and create for the world. You tell us, how can Waves help Indian cinemas reach out globally, and maybe the foreign films or creators can come here and we could provide them the infrastructure that PM Modi also spoke about. How can Waves help bridge that gap?
Well, Abhishek, absolutely right. The question perhaps is like how long will it take? But of course, it's just the beginning. We are at the first edition of the Waves here in Mumbai. It is being also talked about hosting Waves every year. It would be from now on, it is expected to be an annual function that happens like what happens in the Cannes, or for that matter what happens in Davos when we talk about the business summit. So of course this is the first ever such summit where global leaders are also on a single table talking about media industry. There were not much serious deliberation about the media and entertainment industry by politicians, by policymakers, but now we see for the first time ever serious discussion at a global level happening with regards to media and the entertainment industry. As we speak, Abhishek, behind me is the same room where the global media dialogue is underway at this moment. It began in the morning. There are about 60 plus countries that are participating here. There are different ministers, foreign ministers, ministers of the information broadcasting as well as the entertainment have come from across 60 plus countries that are participating in this. Earlier this morning we saw India's foreign minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. We also had the information broadcasting minister Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav, who spoke on the roundtable of the global media dialogue. And of course it is expected that after the deliberation, the day-long deliberation, there could be a media declaration. In fact, it could be known as the Waves Media Declaration, Global Media Declaration, perhaps, which could, set a framework for how this industry can collaborate, globally, and how global collaboration and cooperation in this sector can produce brilliant content, cinema, as well as these technologies which includes VFX, better sound quality, better visual mediums, and better use of camera, better cinematography, etc., etc. So of course, it's a perfect platform for anybody who is into this media industry or who belongs to this industry can come in, attend these sessions. You can get to meet various people from all walks of life who are in this industry. So of course, we are expecting that there could be a global media declaration by the 60 plus countries that is attending it, and perhaps it could be the world's first ever global media declaration. Abhishek.
All right, Damendu, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for getting us the latest from Mumbai. Still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Donald Trump turns to US Supreme Court as court rules against his use of Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelans.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Recap of what we've done so far. Prime Minister Narendra Modi commissions Vizhinjam International Seaport in southern state of Kerala, says country's coastal states and port cities will become key centers of growth for a developed India. More leaders call Pakistan to act against homegrown terror. US Vice President J.D. Vance says Pakistan should cooperate to ensure that terrorists operating in its territory are hunted down. Apple shifts production to India to mitigate potential tariffs. CEO Tim Cook says majority of iPhones sold in the US in the current quarter will come from India. Waves 2025 hosts global media dialogue with delegates from over 60 countries. India's Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav emphasizes on collaboration between government and creators. Angola President João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço arrived on a 3-day visit to India. Accompanied by a high-level delegation, the visiting president will meet Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today. While on Saturday, that is tomorrow, he will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan. He will hold discussions with President Draupadi Murmu, who will host a banquet in honour of the visiting dignitary. President Lourenço will have delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Modi, who will also host a luncheon in his honour. A number of MOUs agreements are expected to be signed during the visit, which shall give a fillip to bilateral relations. This is President Lourenço's first ever bilateral state visit to India. A visit of the President of Angola to India is taking place after 38 years. The visit comes at a time when India and Angola are celebrating the 40th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations this year. India and Angola enjoy warm and friendly relations built over the years. Both countries support each other's candidature at various multilateral fora, including in the UN. Moving on, India's Ministry of Culture, in collaboration with the International Buddhist Confederation, is for the first time holding an exposition of the sacred Buddha relic of Sarnath in Vietnam during the United Nations Day of Vaishak 2025. They will be welcomed with a ceremonial reception at the airport in Ho Chi Minh City. The Indian delegation is being led by Union Minister Kiren Rijiju. The relics will be in Vietnam for 20 days from today and will travel through 4 cities, including Ho Chi Minh City, where the UNDV event will be held. Over 3 million devotees are expected to pay homage to the relics during the exhibition period. Vietnam is a country with a majority Buddhist population, and for them, the relics are not just symbols, but the Buddha himself. The timing is also significant. It coincides with Vietnam's National Day and the Vaishak Day celebrations. The High Commission of India in Bangladesh held a solemn remembrance ceremony on Friday to pay tributes to the memory of those who lost their lives in the brutal terrorist attack on 22nd April in Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir. The High Commissioner Pranay Verma was joined by the Ambassador of Nepal in Bangladesh, Ghanshyam Bhandari, in paying tributes to the victims. Members of the Indian diaspora and Friends of India in Bangladesh participated in large numbers and offered their condolences. US President Donald Trump dismissed National Security Advisor Mike Waltz over the Signalgate scandal and appointed Secretary of State Marco Rubio as interim replacement, marking the first major reshuffle of his second term. More in this report. In a significant cabinet reshuffle on Thursday, US President Donald Trump dismissed National Security Advisor Mike Waltz following mounting controversy over the recent Signalgate scandal. Trump nominated Waltz as the next ambassador to the United Nations. The decision marks the first major shakeup of Trump's second term. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been appointed interim National Security Advisor after Waltz's departure. Waltz's departure comes in the wake of the Signalgate incident, a major security lapse that unfolded in March when Waltz accidentally added The Atlantic magazine's editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg to a secure signal chat discussing a classified US airstrike on Houthi rebels in Yemen. The group shared sensitive operational details, including precise strike timings. Goldberg later published information from the conversation, triggering bipartisan concerns over information security and Waltz's resignation. Trump thanked Waltz for his service to the nation. The feelings were reciprocated by Waltz, who took to social media to express his gratitude to President Trump. Waltz served a little more than 100 days in Trump's second term. US Vice President J.D. Vance said Waltz's removal and shift to the UN could be seen as a promotion and had nothing to do with Signalgate. But the Signalgate scandal might not be over for Trump. Democrats are now turning up the heat on Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who revealed timings that US warplanes would take off to bomb targets in the same signal chat. Hegseth was also reported to have shared those details in a separate signal group chain that included his wife. Bureau Report, DD India. US manufacturing fell for the second consecutive month in April as tariffs on imported goods stretched supply chains, keeping factory gate prices high and driving some firms to lay off workers. A study released on Thursday by the Institute for Supply Management revealed that manufacturing index slipped to 48.7% in April, a touch below its level in March and below the 50-point mark, separating expansion from contraction. The survey covered Trump's Liberation Day tariff announcement, which ushered in sweeping duties on most imports from the United States trade partners, including raising duties on Chinese goods to 145%, sparking a trade war with Beijing. There was no sign in the survey that factories continued to front-run imports last month, though the fear of higher prices from tariffs could have prompted businesses to get in their orders sooner. After months of bluster and huge tariffs on both sides, Beijing and the Trump administration are softening their stance. China said that it is evaluating a US offer for negotiations on tariffs but wanted Washington to show sincerity and be ready to scrap levies that have roiled global markets and supply chains. Punishing US tariffs that have reached 145% on many Chinese products came into force in April, while Beijing has responded with fresh 125% duties on imports from the United States. Beijing's Commerce Ministry on Friday confirmed the US had reached out and that it was currently evaluating the offer. Chinese exports soared more than 12% in March as businesses rushed to get ahead of the swinging tariffs. Now, Tokyo's envoy for US tariff talks in Washington, Roizi Akazawa, said the second round of negotiations between the two countries had been frank and constructive on Thursday. Japan, a key US ally and its biggest investor, is subject to the same 10% baseline tariffs imposed on most nations, plus steeper levies on cars, steel and aluminium. Akazawa stated that the progress was made towards a mutually beneficial deal which would be presented as a package once finalized. In early April, Trump announced 24% reciprocal tariffs on Japan but paused them for 90 days. President Donald Trump's administration asked the U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday to intervene in its bid to strip temporary protected status for more than 300,000 Venezuelan migrants. A United States judge on Thursday issued a permanent injunction preventing the administration of President Donald Trump from using the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport Venezuelans from South Texas. It follows similar, if temporary, orders barring the government's use of the law as Trump seeks the rapid removal of undocumented immigrants from the country. Trump had issued an executive proclamation on March 15 to invoke the law against members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. He argued that Tren de Aragua was perpetrating an invasion of and predatory incursion into the United States, thereby justifying such extreme measures. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to present his budget proposal for the 2026 fiscal year today. His address will comprise plans on the major spending and the economic forecast. While Congress will have the final call of the budget, Trump seeks to slash significant tax and propose the $1 trillion military budget, citing that tariffs will help offset cost. Trump's plan also includes $160 billion slashing in the areas of environment, education, as well as the foreign aid programs. As the Republicans engage in resolving the internal disagreements over federal spendings to pass a tax cut bill by July 4, Trump's public engagements followed by the budget proposal pose a bold approach towards the country's economy. Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed an attack near Syria's presidential palace in Damascus early on Friday, reiterating his vow to protect members of the Druze community. This marks the second Israeli strike in as many days amid sectarian violence. Israel strikes have further complicated interim President Ahmed al-Shara's efforts to stabilize the country. Earlier on Wednesday, in Syria's southern province of Swida, heartland of the Druze minority, 40 Druze fighters were killed, with 35 dying in an ambush on the road to Damascus. Now, Nigel Farage's populist right-wing Reform UK party secured a parliamentary seat in northwest England on Friday, winning by the narrowest margin in a UK parliamentary by-election history. Reform candidate Sarah Poshin defeated Labour's candidate by a mere 6 votes in Runcorn and Hellsby. Labour Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who won one of the largest parliamentary majorities in British history last summer, has experienced the most rapid decline in popularity of any newly elected government.
Massive swings from Conservatives.
In the Wan Chai waterfront area, the Hong Kong Tourism Board presented a mesmerizing 11-minute drone show featuring 1,000 drones. The performance highlighted the city's traditional festivals, including the Cheung Chau Bun Festival, Tin Hau Festival and Tam Kung Festival. The drones formed dynamic patterns that depicted Bun Towers, mythical creatures and various themed displays. Organized by the Hong Kong Tourism Board, this event is part of a broader initiative aimed at celebrating the city's rich cultural heritage. Business updates now. Apple CEO Tim Cook said that India will play a major role in making iPhones destined for the US market. Cook stated that tariffs are disrupting Apple's supply chain and that the company is shifting production to countries like India and Vietnam to mitigate the impact. The move is part of Apple's efforts to minimize the aftermath of US tariffs on its sales and profit margins under President Donald Trump's trade policies. According to researchers, Apple ramped up iPhone production in India towards the end of the quarter, while Vietnam will be the origin for most iPads, Macs, Apple Watches and AirPods sold in the US. China will remain the main production hub for non-US markets. Tit-for-tat exchanges have seen hefty US levies imposed on China, with Beijing setting retaliatory barriers on US imports. India and the European Union seek to finalize their free trade agreement by the end of this year. Commerce Minister of India Piyush Goyal recently engaged in a trade dialogue with EU Commissioner for Trade and Economic Security, Maros Sefcovic, to reaffirm their commitment and strengthen their economic ties. The core focus was laid down on enhancing market access for their businesses, ensuring diversified supply chains and fostering innovation in order to boost competitiveness. With strong leadership from both ends, India and the EU look forward to striking a deal that drives economic growth and sustainable development. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has hailed the record GST collection in April, saying it showcases the resilience of Indian economy and effectiveness of cooperative federalism. In a social media post, Sitharaman expressed deepest gratitude to the taxpayers whose contributions and faith in the GST architecture drive the nation's progress. She said their contributions reflect a shared commitment to building a Viksit Bharat. Gross GST collections for April witnessed a 12.6% increase over the gross collection in April 2024, while net GST collections saw 9.1% growth compared to last year. Still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. In tennis, fourth seed Coco Gauff will face world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka in the final of the Madrid Open.
Welcome to Jaipur.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. As the calendar inches closer to June 21st, a palpable wave of anticipation is building across the globe. From bustling city squares to serene mountain retreats, communities are gearing up to celebrate the International Day of Yoga, a testament to the enduring appeal and profound impact of this ancient Indian practice.
This United Nations designated day, born from a recognition of yoga's profound universal benefits, has evolved into a vibrant global movement. The significance of yoga, far transcending its perceptions as mere exercise, lies in its holistic approach to health. Beyond the tangible physical and mental advantages, yoga fosters a crucial mind-body connection. The synchronized movements, controlled breathing, and meditative elements cultivate a heightened sense of self-awareness. This inward focus can lead to greater emotional resilience and a more balanced perspective on life's challenges. The global embrace of International Yoga Day is a powerful illustration of its universal appeal. The inaugural celebration 10 years ago etched its mark in history with a remarkable gathering in New Delhi. An astounding 35,985 individuals participated in a mass yoga demonstration representing 84 nationalities, earning India 2 Guinness World Records for the largest yoga lesson and the most nationalities in a single yoga session. Since then, the fervour has only grown. From the mindful flows on the beaches of Rio de Janeiro to sunrise salutations on the Eiffel Tower, the diversity of celebrations underscores yoga's ability to transcend cultural and geographical boundaries. This year, the preparations are in full swing. Governments are announcing national-level events, yoga organizations are scheduling workshops and retreats, and communities are organizing local gatherings in parks, schools, and workplaces. Sharing India's vision for a healthier world, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the theme of this year's Yoga Day, which has been kept as Yoga for One Earth, One Health. As the world prepares to unroll its mats once again, the International Day of Yoga serves as a potent reminder of the ancient wisdom that continues to offer profound benefits in our modern lives. Bureau Report, DD India.
All right, sports updates now. We'll start with Indian Premier League. Shubman Gill's Titans strive for a return to winning ways as Gujarat Titans will host Pat Cummins' struggling Sunrisers Hyderabad in the 51st match of the IPL on Friday. The Titans were blown away by Rajasthan Royals opener Vaibhav Sooryavansh's incredible 101 of 38 balls in their last game. Titans suffered an 8-wicket defeat in a rare hiccup in what has been an otherwise impressive campaign. Despite the loss, the 2022 champions are placed 4th in the tournament standings. Meanwhile, after a disappointing losing streak, Pat Cummins Sunrisers got a lift in their last game as they defeated Chennai Super Kings. Although their victory didn't change their fortunes drastically but kept a glimmer of hope alive. Placed 9th with just 6 points after 9 games, the Sunrisers can qualify if they win all of their remaining games. Talking about Madrid Open now, 4th seed Coco Gauff dominated Poland's Iga Świątek 6-1, 6-1 in a mere 64 minutes in the semi-finals on Thursday night. Gauff reached the final at this WTA 1000 event for the first time and is on the verge of her first title of 2025. Meanwhile, top seed Aryna Sabalenka continued her Madrid Open mastery with a 6-3, 7-5 semi-final victory over number 17 seed Elina Svitolina on Thursday night. Sabalenka needed 1 hour and 32 minutes to hold off Svitolina, ending the Ukrainians' undefeated clay court run this year. With the win, Sabalenka is heading to her 4th Madrid final. World champion D. Gukesh will lead India against Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura and the USA in a new 5-board team match which will take place in Arlington on October 4 this year. The event will also see Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana take on Grandmaster Arjun Erigesi, including a duel between two of the world's biggest chess ambassadors, International Master Levi Rosman, known as Gotham Chess, and International Master Sagar Shah. Meanwhile, one of the most exciting young players in US chess, International Master Garisa Yip, will go up against India's 19-year-old International Master Divya Deshmukh, who is the world's highest-rated female player under 21. The full slate of 5 boards includes a mix of established stars, content creators, women's champions, and junior prodigies. Team USA will be white on all board for home advantage, while the second leg is expected to take place in India soon. Legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray revolutionized Indian cinema. Born on May 2, 1921 in the then Calcutta, Ray was a man of many talents. Ray's debut film Pathar Panchali is a masterpiece and still inspires filmmakers worldwide. Bestowed with the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, Satyajit Ray is also the first Indian to have received the honorary Oscar in 1992. DD India's Tanvi Taneja has more.
Such were the incredible celluloid skills of Satyajit Ray that renowned Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa once said that not to have seen the cinema of Satyajit Ray means existing in the world without seeing the sun or the moon. Not only did Ray hold audiences spellbound with his storytelling skills, he also catered to a diverse audience. In his early years, Ray worked as a visualizer and illustrator for advertising agencies, using that experience to hone his skills in visual storytelling. These experiences, along with his literary lineage and innate artistic talents, laid the foundations for the creation of the genius filmmaker in Satyajit Ray. Inspired by the works of Western filmmakers like Jean Renoir and Vittorio De Sica, Satyajit Ray made his first film, Pathar Panchali, in 1955. Pother Panchali went on to define Indian cinema and won 11 international awards, including the Best Human Document Award at the 1956 Cannes Film Festival. The film, along with Aparajato and Apur Sansar, formed the Apur trilogy, a compelling Bengali series. Ray's attention to humanism and his meticulous control over his films set him apart as one of the greatest filmmakers of the 20th century.
Kajol, chole esho. Chole esho. Kajula!
দাদু বকবে
দাদু জানতে পারবে না দাদুকে আমি বলবো না এসো
Apart from the Apur trilogy, Jalsa Ghar, Mahanagar, Charulata, Janaranya and Aguntuk showcased Ray's ability to capture everyday life with complete authenticity and deep sincerity. Ray's versatility, for he was also a noted author, is showcased in the characters he created in the form of Detective Feluda and Professor Shonko. Besides winning a record 36 Indian National Film Awards and numerous awards at international film festivals, Ray was also the first Indian filmmaker to receive an honorary Academy Award in the year 1992. Eminent Iranian filmmaker Majid Majidi are among the numerous film personalities who have expressed their deep respect and profound admiration for Ray's cinematic creations. Today, on his birth anniversary, we once again remember and deeply appreciate this great filmmaker's cinematic skills and timeless celluloid creations. Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
Well, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.